Hi guys and welcome to another Fool of the Week. This week's Fool is our old friend 30p Lee Anderson. Now, Reform UK hate one group in society more than migrants. Who could that be? Well, it's the disabled. So Lee Anderson here is complaining about the mobility scheme, which is part of the PIP payment. But he doesn't understand it, or does, but prefers to misrepresent it. Have a listen.
I think personally that the Motability scheme's got completely out of hand. 1 in 5, I think, new cars on the road now are a Motability car. I know people through doing this job and working at CAB before that will claim PIP, the higher rate mobility, for a family member, and that family member will never get to use that car apart from maybe once or twice a year. They go to the hospital in the car, and the rest of the time their family are driving about in a brand new BMW on their drive. It's not fair. And I think the chief exec here of Motability gets about 500 grand a year. Where's that money coming from? It's supposed to be a charity. The chief financial officer gets about 400 grand a year. It's an absolute scandal, the Motability scheme is. I mean, I remember back in the day, if you were on disability and you wanted the car from the state, it was a blue three-wheeler. Anybody remember those? What's wrong with that? Let's go back to that. You'll quote me on that, won't you, Kelgi?
Oh my goodness. Okay. The mobility scheme, the money from it to cover a car is taken out of the PIP payment. So when somebody receives a PIP payment, part of that money can be given to cover the cost, the lease of a car. Now, if they want a more powerful car, a bigger car, then they have to make up the difference themselves. So when Lee Anderson and others talk about, oh, look at all these cars going around, it's unfair that these people are driving BMWs. They get a payment for PIP, which covers their mobility, and then they can use it to cover the cost of the lease. And if it doesn't cover the cost of the lease of the car they want, they have to make up the difference themselves. So there's no unfairness here. Of course, Reform are not interested in telling the truth. Then he says, well, I know of people who are, in a sense, gaming the system. Then why doesn't he report it? We keep hearing this all the time. Politicians saying, oh, I know somebody at the end of my street who's gaming the system. Then why are you not reporting that to the authorities? As a citizen, you have a responsibility to report someone gaming the system. Or maybe they're not gaming the system. You're just trying to present the idea that they are in order to push a narrative. The narrative, of course, being that people who are disabled are really faking it, or people who are on benefits are just lazy. That's the narrative that Reform UK want to push. Now, why is Reform so adamant about removing support for people, including the disabled? Because once again, and I have to keep reinforcing this point, they're not the party of the working class, even though they pretend to, even though they have their own mascot in the shape of Lee Anderson. They're a party of the rich, and their goal, it seems, is to reduce taxes for the rich, because the rich don't want to see their taxes go to cover the lives of vulnerable people, including the disabled, or to cover people on benefits or entitlements. They hate this idea. They would prefer these people to die, to literally die. They would prefer these people receive no support, because they have this mentality, these rich people, well, I've succeeded in life and it's down to my hard graft and it's my intellect that allowed me to achieve these things. And if these people don't have the same as me, then there's something wrong with them. And why should I be paying my taxes to lift these people out of poverty? This is the mentality of these individuals. And of course, they're going to support a party like Reform or the Conservatives, who promise them, don't worry, we're going to reduce the size of the state. We're going to cut funding for public services. We're going to kick people off benefits. We're going to remove these mobility schemes, so that we need to take less tax away from you and you can enjoy the fruits of your non-labor. It's not a party of the ordinary people. It's not a party of the working class. It's a party of the rich for the rich. And of course, they're going to use issues like this to convince working class people and even people who benefit from these entitlements or who are on PIP. They're going to convince them to vote against their own interests once again. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what do you think, and I'll see you in the next video.